Joseph, Richard, welcome to the Coffee Pod. My name is Chisha Zed.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
Woman makes shocking claim. She says social media made me get a divorce. No more wasting time. Let's get it.
So social media caused me to get a divorce. Like, that's dumb. That's a mistake. Let me explain.
This is about to be one of those videos where I'm like, why is this on the internet? But continue.
My own feelings of uncertainty and unhappiness for a while. I was actually, I hate telling people this, but like, I had thoughts on my wedding day, and I thought that was just super normal. And I was in the haze of being a new mom.
Right.
We got pregnant very early in our relationship.
This is yet another perfect example of how women fall in love with the process of being in love rather than the actual person that they're marrying. And once the excitement of the wedding and having a baby and all of those things die out and reality smacks them in the face, they wake up and realize, oh shit, I think I made the wrong decision. And in this case, a lot of these women already know on their wedding day or before they even have children that they don't want to be with these people in the first place, which I think is very, very selfish.
I wonder how often that happens, guys. How often women at the wedding day are looking over at the guy they're about to marry and they're like, yeah, this is probably going to end in divorce. Because it's happened in another video I remember that I've reacted to. And do you think women can resist not participating in that wedding that every woman looks forward to? She's probably thinking, might as well follow through with it. My makeup's done. Don't want to waste that. Let's keep listening.
We got pregnant very early in our relationship on purpose, which, again, another story for another day. But, you know, being a new mom, I had two young kids, and I was just in survival mode. So I really didn't have a lot of time to think about me or what I wanted or what I was feeling. I was just in kind of like autopilot. And I think that's probably why, if you go back on my page, you'll see any videos of me talking about my husband where like I make us out to be like the happiest couple ever.
Worried about what you wanted, what you're feeling when you have two kids. How are they feeling right now? That's the question.
We're not unhappy. There is actually not a lot of tea here. There's not a lot of like jealousy or animosity or a big story or anything that was wrong. It just also wasn't right.
Then she goes on a 2-minute rant about how she got into therapy and her therapist is telling her that she's just a people pleaser and this is why she's made such poor decisions to begin with. So it strips her of any real accountability. She even says that she got on the internet and realized that other women felt the same way that she did. And that's why she felt it was relatable in how she was feeling as well. I'm telling you, social media will influence these women in a direction that they don't want to be in because now she's a single mother of 2 kids.
Right.
And she even goes on to state that there was no tea, there was no abuse, there was nothing. And it was pretty much like she just woke up one day and decided, oh shit, I made the wrong choice. And she's such a people pleaser, but she doesn't realize that simultaneously she's being selfish as wasting his time and bringing 2 kids into the world, essentially immediately into a broken home or what's going to be a broken home. Look, and I'm all for getting out of unhappy relationships, but don't you think you should have figured that out before you got married or even perhaps after the first child? Like, you went as far as to have 2 children with this man, knowing damn well that he wasn't the one.
As much as I'm enjoying tag teaming this modern woman with this chick, I can't co-sign that whole I'm all for leaving a marriage when you're unhappy. No, because unless we change the vows that are said at that wedding day and you say, hey, if I was to get unhappy, I will leave you. And that was discussed prior. Then I'd be like, cool. The reality is this chick divorced her husband, now is blaming social media and lied during her vows. Being unhappy is something you promise not to leave, right? Through sickness, through health, all that shit. Let's keep listening.
Or that it wasn't going to be a long-term situation. But then these women get on the internet and kind of brag about it like it's funny. And like they're not part of the problem because everyone around them on social media and apparently this woman's therapist are validating them for these poor decisions. This just goes to show you how many women are at the stages in their life where they want to do everything for social media and they don't want to do it for reality, and where they fall in love with the process of being in love, but they don't fall in love with the person that they're actually marrying or being with long term. And I think it's incredibly toxic, selfish. I don't care how you spin it. The fact that these women bring children into the world, they waste a man's time and they do all of this, and then they get on the internet like it's funny or it's a joke or it's embarrassing and they don't want to talk about it. But
Right.
they want to get the clout for it. Is absolutely embarrassing in my opinion. Okay, bye.
Okay, bye, she says. Okay, bye. Listen, man, from what it sounded like, this ex-wife here who's giving her side of the story was one of those social media type wives who shared a lot about her marriage, and probably the actual place where she actually shared a lot about her marriage is the reason she got divorced. Social media will do it for sure. For anybody who isn't actively protecting yourself against the information that does not feed your relationship, your mental health, but in this case, your marriage, and you're just on TikTok, of course, people aren't surprised. Let's check out some of these comments, see what the people have to say. First comment here says, Instagram got your bish. Of course, this comes from, I think, Kanye West. He said that. 502 likes. Somebody else who said, question, who told everyone that they should expect to always be happy all the time in their marriage? Social media? Women telling each other that? Ignoring reality? Movies? Right. Another comment here says, all I hear is me, me, me. Here's somebody else who says, too many people marry for the wedding, not for the marriage. Another person here added, this is a woman. Shaking my head, he's probably a good father and husband. Here's another gentleman who added, not it being the baby's fault for the divorce too. 146 likes. Yeah, she blamed social media. Her therapist wasn't helping. I believe therapy has its place. Not in everybody's life, but in the lives of people who need it. But there's also this very obvious agenda-driven side of these therapists who are feminist. Sitting there, dipping their tea bags into their cup of hot water and lying to these women. This is not the first time. God, shit. It happens all the time. I can't lie. You got to be careful. If you're out here looking for some type of a therapist, especially as a man, do your best to find a male therapist and a man who is aligned or at least understands where you're coming from as much as possible, right? Because it gets weird out there. Another comment here says, Buddy thought he was living the dream and now he's in therapy. Yeah, hopefully found a good male therapist to help him through this situation. Because I think when it comes to relationships, it's important to have a male therapist as a man. Not saying it's a must, absolute must, but it definitely helps. Another comment here says, they should do marriage like lease option agreements, 6 months trial period, and then decide if you want to buy. I've heard this idea before. What do you guys think of that? There's another commenter who says, I wish my ex, I think that's supposed to say left, when we had no kids, but she decided to leave after 14 years and 2 kids. When life gets hard, I believe that's supposed to say, they will leave. And that's about it. Typical divorce video here. Just another woman avoiding accountability when it comes to her marriage that she caused and now is blaming social media for. We'll see her again for sure. Listen, as always, I appreciate you for checking out yet another episode of The Coffee Pod. Leave your thoughts down below. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.